Good morning, Year 3. Happy Tuesday. We are going to start our English work today with a little word game called Bingo Noughts and Crosses. So what I would like you to do on a scrap piece of paper now, or on a whiteboard if you have one, is draw what you can see in front of you, a noughts and crosses board. So I've just drawn 2 lines down and 2 lines across. Now I've used a ruler, but you don't have to. You can just do it really quickly. Just make sure you've got 9 spaces for words there. Do that now and press play again when you are done. Okay, well done. You should have all done that now. So you've got your empty noughts and crosses board. So this is just a quick game to start our English lesson. Now, I have chosen a whole group of words that you should know how to spell and know the meaning of, because they're from our common exception words from Year 2. They're from our spellings this week, or they're from the common exception word list from Year 3. So what I'd like you to do now is choose 9 of these words. So put 1 in each box here. So in total, you'll have 9 words. You can choose any one you like. And then as soon as you finish that, come back to me. Okay, so you should be ready to play now. So now you need a different colour pen or just your pencil. It doesn't really matter. You should have all 9 words in. I've just written 1 in as an example here to start with. Then you need to choose whether you are noughts or crosses. You can choose whichever one. I'm going to choose to be a nought today. You choose whether you want to be a nought or a crosses. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you the meaning of one of the words that you had on your list. If you've got that word or you think you've got it, you put your symbol over the word, either a nought or a cross. You can choose which one it is. And then it's the time it takes you to get 3 in a row. Okay, so I'm going to go as far as I can through all of the words. You circle them off. And what you could do is when you've got 3 in a row, you could pause the video and tell me the time on the video that you managed to get 3 in a row in. And then the person that gets 3 in a row the quickest would be the winner. You can let me know what time it was when you got your 3 in a row. Okay, so just starting with, so whole. I'm going to start with this one. So if you've got whole, we know you're going to get this one straight away. The meaning of whole is all of, or the entire thing. Okay, that's the meaning. So if I said that meaning and you've got whole, you can put your sign on there. Okay, that was kind of a little practice one. If you've got whole, you can do that. Well done. Okay, ready for the next one then. This is a male relation to a child. Which one of those words means a male relation to a child? If you've got it, put your mark on. Okay, the next one. The meaning is pleasing to the eye, something that's nice to look at. What's the meaning of that? Okay, the next one. A piece of land surrounded by water. What is a piece of land surrounded by water called? If you've got that word, put your sign on your noughts and crosses board. Okay, the next one. The planet that we live on. What is the name of the planet we live on? If you've got it, you can put your sign on. Okay, the next one. A festive time of year where we celebrate the birth of Christ. That's the meaning. What is the word? If you've got it, put your sign on. Well done. Okay, the next meaning. A scientific task that is used to make discoveries. A scientific task which is used to make discoveries. What do we call that? Okay, the next one. Remember, if you've got 3 in a row, fantastic. Press pause and see what time it is, and I can see who got the quickest noughts and crosses. Okay, this is a study or a lesson in past events. What do we call that lesson when we look at the past? The study of or a lesson in past events. That's the meaning. You find the word. Okay, the next one. To act in a bad way, which none of you do. To act in a bad way. If you've got that word for that meaning, do your noughts or crosses. Okay, to go up, either a slope or stairs. What do we call that when we're going upstairs or up a slope? What's the word that you could have written down there? That's the meaning. Find the word. I'm thinking that some of you will have got 3 in a row by now. Okay, a sweet substance that we add to tea or coffee. And I have this in my tea. In fact, I have 2 of them. I have to make sure I look after my teeth. A sweet substance that we add to tea or coffee to sweeten it. Okay, another word for human beings, a group of human beings together. What do we call them? The collective noun of all these, nearly said it then, group of human beings. If you've got the word for my meaning, put your sign on. Okay, I think we've only got 1 left. And the last one is to lose something temporarily. That's from your spelling words, that one. To lose something temporarily. Well done if you got the meanings for those. I'm going to stop the share there. Now your time is on the bottom, I think, of your recording. So if you got 3 in a row, you should be able to tell me what time it was. Just a really quick game. And it's really good. You can play this at home with your parents or siblings with a list of words, and you can have your noughts and crosses board and play this at home. So it's just a quick game just to get our word bank, our English brains into gear. So now that we've played that game, let's move on to today's lesson. And this week we are going to have a focus on your grammar and your spellings. Yesterday we did our live spelling lesson with Otter class, and then the rest of you were sent it via email. And we are now looking at prefixes. Now we haven't done any prefixes so far this year. We've been doing some work on suffixes, which go at the end of a word. We are going to start work on prefixes, and we did some work on prefixes yesterday in our spelling lesson, the prefix miss, which is a small collection of words that go before a word to change its meaning. After half term, your spellings will have a different prefix for a couple of weeks. So we're going to do a little bit of work on that for the next couple of days, which will give you a bit of an advantage for your spellings after half term, because you'll have learned a little bit about the spelling rules in advance. So I am going to share my screen with you with our PowerPoint for today and share the Walt with you so you know what we are doing. Here it is. Let's start it from the beginning. So we are looking at these 3 prefixes for the next couple of days. So we've got dis, miss, which is our spelling word, and un. 3 different prefixes. Okay, so our aim is to add the prefixes. This is our Walt, dis, miss, and un to words to create new words. And we did that yesterday in our spelling lesson. And by the end of this lesson, I would like you to know to explain what a prefix is and explain how adding the prefixes dis, miss, and un changes the meaning of the words. So what is a prefix? Well, we know what a prefix is now. It is added to the beginning of a word to make a new word. Most prefixes are added to the beginning of root words without any changes to the spelling. Now, yesterday we noticed this in our live lesson, that when we pulled miss away, the prefix away from the root word didn't change. So that makes it a little bit easier, because if we can spell the root word, we're only adding on a chunk to the start of the word. So here, look, you can see down here, we've got dis, that's the prefix, with the root word connect. And if we put them together, we connect them, we get the word disconnect, prefix plus root word disconnect. Here's the prefix miss, and these are in our spellings this week. And somebody in Otters, I think, used this as our example yesterday. Miss, take, mistake. The root word take doesn't change. And then we've got this prefix un, and we've got the root word cover, un, and cover makes the word uncover, and the root word hasn't changed. Okay, so we're going to stop and have a quick activity here for a moment. What is a prefix? Dis. It is important to understand the definitions of prefixes, because they can help us figure out the meanings of any new words that we come across. Think about the different words which can be created through adding the prefix dis. So what I'd like you to do now is pause the video and on a scrap piece of paper, see if you can think of 5 other words that start with dis. Pause the video and come back to me when you've got 5 other words that start with dis. Well done. Did you manage to get 5? I managed to get 5. I got the words discover. Discover. Together makes discover. The root word means to cover. So the word discover would mean that it's not covered. The opposite, the negative of it. So if something is covered, if it's discovered, it means that it's open. That makes sense, because if I was an archaeologist and I was looking for things and I made a discovery, it would mean that I had looked inside and found something. It's not covered over. I found it, it's open. So that makes sense. I also found the word dislike. 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 The root word hasn't changed, but if I like something, it means I enjoy it. Dislike means that I don't enjoy it, so it's got the negative effect. So it's a bit like the opposite. That's interesting. I also found the word disagree. Disagree, disagree. Well, if I agree with something, it means that I would make this movement with my head. If I agree with something, it means that I'm saying yes, I think the same. But if I disagree, it means I'd make this movement. I don't go along with it. So that's got the negative opposite meaning as well. So when we add dis to a root word, it means it gives it a negative opposite meaning. A bit like miss. We thought that about miss yesterday. Here we go. We've got 3 here. Oh, look, there's one that I found. Dislike means do not like something. But if we take dis off, the word like means that we do like something. Disconnect. Well, if we connect something, we put something together. If we disconnect it, it's not connected anymore. It's broken. The opposite meaning in a negative way. Disobey. Well, if I obey someone, it means that I'm doing as they tell me to do. So if I disobey, you've got it. It means I'm not following what someone tells me to do. I'm not following a command. So the prefix dis, when it's added to a root word, is giving us the opposite negative effect. And it means not, or the opposite of. We figured that out, so that's good to know. Now, let's try the same with the miss. Now, you should know loads of miss words because they're in your spellings. So let's see if you can get 5 miss words. Pause me, write them down on a piece of paper, write down 5 miss words. Off you go. Well done. What did you find? I'm hoping you've got lots there because we've done them. And some of these are in your spellings for this week. So we've got the word mistake. Now, we talked about this a minute ago. Mistake, mistake. The root word hasn't changed. Let's see what happens to the meaning. Oh, mistake means to do something wrong. Misread. 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 What does it mean? It means to read something wrongly. If I misread something or I misread something, it means I read it wrong. Misplace. Misplace. That means to put something in the wrong place or to lose something temporarily, like we spoke about earlier. So what are the meaning of these? I hope you managed to get 5. It means wrong or false when we put miss in front of a root word. So mistake means we've done something wrong. If we take the root word take, so if you imagine if you're making a film, for example, we call it a take. So it's your try at doing something. But if you make a mistake, it means that you do the take, the thing, wrong. Misread. If you read something, you're looking at the words and reading it. But if you misread it, it means you're not reading the words properly. Misplace. If you place something, you know where it is, in the right place. But if you misplace something, it's either in the wrong place or you've lost it because it's not where it should be. Let's look at the prefix un. Un. have a go at adding the prefix un and see if you can find 5 un words. Write them down on a scrap piece of paper and come back to me when you've got 5. Did you manage to find some, Year 3? I found this one a little bit trickier today, but I did manage to get 5. I got these ones. Uncover. Oh, look, it's there. That was my trick one. Look, I used that one. Uncover. 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 Well, if I cover something, I put a blanket over something to cover it. If I uncover it, it means I take it away. So it's covered, not covered. That makes sense. I also found the word undress, which is what we do before we go to bed. Undress, undress. Well, if I get dressed, I put my clothes on. To get undressed, I take them off again. So I'm dressed or not dressed. That's interesting. I also found the word unnecessary. Well, if something's necessary, it means that it's needed. If it's unnecessary, it means that it's not needed. So we could say it is necessary to have breakfast because it is needed. It is unnecessary to have a donut for breakfast because it's not needed to have a donut for breakfast, even though it would be very delicious. So it seems to me like the word un means not. Let's have a look. Oh, look, we've got unhappy. I didn't think of that one. Unhappy, unhappy. That means when you're not happy. Unkind, unkind. That means you're not very kind. And there's my one that I found. Uncover, uncover. To take it off, so it's not covered. So it looks like when we add un, we are saying not. That's really good to know, isn't it? The root word with un means it's not what it was before. Oh, we're learning something new every day. What you're going to do today for me, Year 3, is I have got a prefix sort activity sheet for you. It just looks a bit like this. Now, there are 3 different versions for each group to have a different version. And at the top is a list of words. They may need un, dis, or miss. And you have to figure out which one you think it is. So you're looking at the word, I can see the first one here is the word able. Now, if I put unable, that makes sense. So I can write it in there, unable. Can I say misable? That doesn't sound right, does it? So I'm not going to write it in there. Can I say disable? Yes, I can. So I can put them in there. So I can put unable and disable in there, sorting them out. Let's have a look at the next one. Happy. Can I write unhappy? Yes, I can. So I can write it under that heading. Mishappy. That doesn't sound right, does it? Dishappy. That doesn't sound right either. So I'm only going to write it under the un section. So with all of these words, say them out loud with each prefix and see if it's a word that makes sense. And then write it under the correct headings. And you've all got that to do for today's activity. Children in Jacqueline Wilson, at the bottom of your sheet, you've got a little challenge to see if you can add any words, root words of your own that would fit under those headings. So maybe you could do those in a different colour to show us that you've tried the challenge as well. Good luck today. Remember, we are looking at the prefix un, miss and dis, and we are trying to figure out which root word needs which one. So good luck with today's work, and I will see you again soon.